Lux aeterna, luce ad eis Domine, cum sanctis tuis in aeternum, quia pius
The Mesoamerican long count calendar forms the basis for a New Age belief, first forecast by José Arglez, that a cataclysm will take place on or about December 21, 2012, a forecast that mainstream Mayan scholars consider a misinterpretation, yet is commonly referenced in pop culture media as the 2012 problem. For the ancient Maya, it was a huge celebration to make it to the end of a whole cycle, says Sandra Noble, Executive Director of the Foundation for the Advancement of Mesoamerican Studies, incorporated in Crystal River, Florida. To render December 21, 2012, as a doomsday or moment of cosmic shifting, she says, is a complete fabrication and a chance for a lot of people to cash in. Although Arglez states that his tools and calendar are clearly not a Mayan calendar, much criticism of it focuses on the fact that his works remain completely unsupported by any professional Mayan scholar. Amongst many criticisms leveled at it, it is pointed out that the interpretation merely co-opts an ancient tradition by recasting it in New Age terms, unknown, unused and undocumented among the Maya. Many of his literary dream spells influences come from non-Mayan sources, such as the I Ching and pop psychology. What's more, Arglez's calendar is based on a different day count than the traditional Mayan calendar. As mathematician Michael Finley notes, since the 365-day Maya time period, the Hab, makes no provision for leap years, its starting date in the Gregorian calendar advances by 1 day every 4 years. The beginning of Arglez's year is fixed to July 26. Thus his count of days departs from the Hab as it was known to Maya scribes before the Spanish conquest. Arglez claims that the 13-moon calendar is synchronized with the calendar all year round. Clearly, it is not. His calendar is also not correctly synchronized with it observed by the Maya. For example, in the traditional count January 1, 2005 is the Mayan time period of 5 Mulek, while in Arglez's book, The Dream Spell, it is the time period of 2 Etznab. Arglez countered this criticism by stating that his calendar is correct and biologically accurate, for the whole planet, and that he is the heir of the legacy of Pacalvotan, the mythical white and bearded god of Mexico. In fact, the end of Western civilization occurs 4 days onward from the prophesied date put forward by Arglez of the 21st of December, 2012 AD. In fact, the United States of America, the new Atlantis, will undergo great changes by the 25th of December, 2012 AD. Just like the Mayans, they will be unhealthy, overcommitted, starving and have their infrastructure in decay. Just as the Mayan civilization fell in the 9th century AD, leaving only their massive pyramids to be overgrown by the jungle, so too the American culture will collapse by Christmas Day, 2012 AD. No longer will putting presents under the tree be the most important thing, it will be putting food on the table. Just as the Mayans had fought increasingly bloody and useless wars to sacrifice on their stone temples, so too America will be overcommitted in increasingly bloody foreign wars where they sacrifice their own sons and daughters on the altar of consumer capitalism. With no health care, disease will continue to rack America's lower classes. As the banks, today's temple money changers, turn defaulting people from their homes onto the streets, the homeless will begin to seize housing in squatter revolts. As food grows more scarce as a result of poorly run agriculture, food rioting will begin. The aristocracy will call for greater and more bloody sacrifices on the steps of their stone temples. Armed groups will roam the countryside. States will secede in tax revolt. An inevitable decline of the decadent Western civilization will result. This is because the pyramid builders always remained the same. The same rulers have always sat on our necks, forcing us to assemble their pyramids and temples for thousands of years. While we toil away our lives, they grow fat of the proceeds of our sweat. They sacrifice us like pawns in endless wars, all to keep the cogs of production turning and the gouts of blood spilling down the temple steps. Where it was once gods like the feather serpent, Quetzalcoatl, now we worship General Motors and General Electric. And their maws demand fresh blood, the fresh blood of your children. For it does not matter which side you labor under, whether it is under the coalition of the willing or Al-Qaeda, we at the bottom are led by global lunatics bent upon our total destruction and subjugation. The pyramids of the power elites grow taller on the corpses of the lesser classes. The masters and mistresses of destruction and hate hurl the bodies of the sacrificed down the stairs of their temples of capital and central planning. The temples and pyramids of our new world orders are vast mechanisms for orchestrating pain and exploitation which we must all bow and scrape at.
The Ministry of Truth, mini-true in Newspeak, was startlingly different from any other object in sight. It was an enormous pyramidal structure of glittering white concrete, soaring up terrace after terrace, 300 meters into the air. From where Winston stood, it was just possible to read, picked out on its white face in elegant lettering, the 3 slogans of the party. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. The Ministry of Truth contained, it was said, 3,000 rooms above ground level and corresponding ramifications below. Scattered about London, there were just 3 other buildings of similar appearance and size. So completely did they dwarf the surrounding architecture that from the roof of Victory Mansions you could see all 4 of them simultaneously. They were the homes of the 4 ministries between which the entire apparatus of government was divided. The Ministry of Truth, which concerned itself with news, entertainment, education, and the fine arts. The Ministry of Peace, which concerned itself with war. The Ministry of Love, which maintained law and order. And the Ministry of Plenty, which was responsible for economic affairs. Their names in Newspeak: Mini-True, Mini-Pax, Mini-Love, and Mini-Plenty. The Ministry of Love was the really frightening one. There were no windows in it at all. Winston had never been inside the Ministry of Love, nor within half a kilometer of it. It was a place impossible to enter except on official business, and then only by penetrating through a maze of barbed wire entanglements, steel doors, and hidden machine gun nests. Even the streets leading up to its outer barriers were roamed by gorilla-faced guards in black uniforms, armed with jointed truncheons.